live simulcasting for the first time, well, the second time, on Twitch and always on YouTube. I have not done this in a long time. I am really, really excited. I'll just go back to Twitch because we are live, as I said. And today, I know it says ASMR, but this is not going to be. Just go to my channel. There we go. This is not ASMR per se. As I say, it's been a while since I logged into Twitch, and I felt inspired. To return. I'm going to have some music playing in the background because I feel this needs music playing in the background. I'm going to remove some of the music though because I'm never sure. And to be honest with you, there's some of the music I've got a bit annoyed with. I did do a live stream on YouTube last night, and I had the music playing in the background. But this time I'm going to remove some of the tracks because it just didn't fit with the theme. So we'll just take that section of the playlist out. There we go. Take that out as well. There we go. Right. Hello and welcome. We'll get this playing in the background. Make sure the volume is correct. It's a mixture of music by Steve Jablonski, Two Steps from Hell, Hans Zimmer, John Williams, Howard Shore. I think his name is Jeremy Soule, and possibly some Iron Zur, if you're familiar with Soul Calibur. I beg your pardon. That's the music I've just removed from the playlist. I can never say his name. Einon Zur, who does the music for Fallout. But we'll start going on. We'll start as we mean to go on. So I think what we will do this evening, let me just make sure. Yes, it is on loop and repeat. So I've got my microphone set up. If you hear anything like white noise, I've got a fan on because I'm a bit warm. I know it's January and I'm here in Britain and it's supposed to be freezing cold, but this room is quite warm. Anyway, let me just bring up my YouTube channel so that I can make sure this is live streaming correctly on YouTube as well. And I do believe it is because I want to be able to see both chat screens. I love that crescendo. Oh. That's good. I am live on YouTube. I am now live upon Twitch. I can't sing. I am live on Twitch. I am live on Twitch. I just like to do this little bit because obviously you know, I can't type. Now, what are we going to do? Well, last night I started painting this, I don't know, Inquisitor Planetary Governor for my Gaunt's Ghosts army. But I did say if I was live streaming on Twitch, excuse the chair, I would be... oh, hello. Oh, that's okay, that's fine. Let me just check. Just want to make sure I've got a setting correct. Because it's been a while since I've used Twitch, but I'm simulcasting on... That's fine. That is fine. I've got everything I need set up. So, the plan is what I've got are 2 Chaos Rhinos. 2 Chaos Rhinos. 3rd edition and 4th edition onwards. Mark III, Mark 4C. And they are both... You can't really make this out because the camera's a bit fuzzy, but they are both dedicated to the Chaos God Nurgle, the god of plague, pestilence and disease and destruction, who is also a rival to Tzeentch, the god of change, the keeper of secrets, that's Slaanesh. But anyway, we have got 2 Nurgle Rhinos that were originally going to be Iron Warrior Rhinos, because I was up to a point Iron Warrior player. So I have let people know that I am live on both platforms. I have my paints here. Some will need to be opened. I need some water, which I have. Life is good. I'm going to just pop up my... I'm just going to hide up my keyboard. Now, I did have a little... Yes, I have just tipped the models that I had on my paintboard back into my model box, but that's okay. As I said, this is, although I am an ASM artist on YouTube, this is not about ASMR. This is about my other passion, Warhammer 40,000. Hence the playlist I have playing, because this is my most Warhammer 40k playlist. And as you can tell, I am quite excited because I haven't painted Warhammer 40k vehicles in a very long time. Let me move this out the way and centralize. You can still hear me, I believe. Let me just check. Yes, you can still hear me. I'm sorry it's a bit loud, but obviously I don't want the music to drown out my speaking. So I need to find the knife. There we go. That will do. That will do for opening the pots. And we want to start. I think we'll do this one because this is nice and. This one is nice and chunky. This one's quite small, but I think we can really have some fun with this one. So I need to. Have I already opened this one? No, I haven't. No, I have not. Let us see. Where is my... there we go. And of course I've got the music on in the background to keep it interesting, because otherwise this could get a bit dull. But at least with a bit of music in the background, you can... I'll just take it up a notch, because some of these tracks can get a bit quiet. There we go. My enthusiasm is increasing. Happy days. And yes, I am British, if you're a first time. Well, this is a first time in a long time that I've actually streamed on Twitch as well as YouTube. I did do some streaming on here on Twitch a while ago, but it never really went according to plan. So I felt encouraged by some friends to come back and try it again. I do need to move this over here. It's a shame it's not a USB. It's a shame it's not a USB mic. Bluetooth, not USB. It is USB because it's plugged in with a USB. So I need a suitable brush. I do use Games Workshop brushes, but I have a whole host, and some of them are pretty tatty. A bit of a tatty bogle of brushes. But I keep them all in this lovely, lovely tin. That might be useful. Sometimes when you're painting, you suddenly think of brushes you might need. That would be useful. Ah, there's my craft knife from last night. That will be a bit sharper for... Let's have a look. That'll be good as a stippling brush. Now, I've got a couple of brushes here that will be good for stippling if I need to use them. That'll be a good dry brush. Now if the phone rings, I will have to pause, and well, it probably will ring, so I will have to pause and disappear, but you will know because I will turn off the audio. But don't worry, I'm not shutting down or leaving. Oh, what's that? A wash brush. Hello. And sometimes I get a bit Bob Ross when I'm doing this. Sometimes I get a bit Bob Ross. So, you know, we'll just see where we go and have a good time. You know, I've got some happy little white here, you know, a bit of titanium white and some chaos black. Warhammer 40,000 like Bob Ross. I'm just checking my dashboard on Streamlabs. That's fine. And as I say, I am simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. I will keep reminding people of that, so, you know, you can join me on both platforms. You will come to know I'm quite eccentric, but I like that. I refer to myself as a chip, you know. I'm a steampunk. I am a steampunk. You can see the jacket up behind me, just there. So I'm going to just pop back because I only need to see the chat on YouTube. I don't need to see I don't need to see my screen, I only need to see the chat. There we go, because then I can see myself live as I move, because I've also got Twitch up so I can see that as well. So, let's get painting. Now I'm starting, by the way, I'm not using Games Workshop paints, I'm using and I'm not sponsored or anything, but I'm using a brand called, I'll show you the ones that aren't opened, Aquacolor by Revel. And I used them last night to paint my planetary governor, and they are really good. They give really good coverage. They can be a bit thin, but they layer up really well, and I like them as much as I like Vallejo, and I do like Vallejo as well. So I am not going to paint. I'm going to do some dark green. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm going to do, it's dark green on black, so you're not going to see much at the moment. You're not going to see much at the moment. But I'm going to paint the majority of the body. But I'm not going to paint the doors. There's bits and pieces I'm not going to paint, so I'm going to sort of paint the element, the sort of bits that I want to, because it's not a mutated tank. It's not Nurgle in the sense it's been taken over by, or it's in the process of being taken over by a Nurgle demon. So it's not quite there. So it's a bit, you know, it's not quite Death Guard, but it's not quite, you know, a possessed Rhino. And of course, if you came in wondering what I meant by painting rhinos, this is a Rhino. It's a transport vehicle for Space Marines. But it's also used by Sisters of Battle and, well, they are Space Marines really. Grey Knights can also have them. Imperial Guard used to be able to use them before the Chimera came in, and that needs to be a little bit thicker. That needs to be a little bit thicker. So but having the music on takes me back to when I used to spend my Saturdays playing Warhammer and Warhammer Fantasy Battles and Warhammer 40k in my local branch of Games Workshop, which of course is now known purely as Warhammer, because all the parents knew it as Warhammer, so they sort of came to existence. And I'll tell you now, I wasn't planning on this live stream. I decided on a whim to do this. I just came off watching another live stream, and I realised I'd actually finished what I was coming off to do. So I thought, do you know what? I've got, you know, a bit of time on my hands. Why not see? Because I had issues streaming on Twitch last night, so I thought to myself, why not give it another go? And you can honestly see the results. You can honestly see the results. As I said, coverage of this paint is actually pretty decent. you know, it is. And you know, I'm pretty happy with how this all comes out. Hi Amanda, over on YouTube. Thank you for joining very briefly. That's absolutely fine. I will be saying hello to everyone that joins me on YouTube and Twitch. So I will indicate who is who and what platform you are saying hello on, whether it's Twitch or YouTube. So my friend Amanda is currently in the YouTube live stream. Now, I wonder if I want to paint the doors. Also, the nice thing about these paints is they dry really quickly. I mean, as I say, you can't really see that at the moment because that's a really dark green, and that's the point. I want the base coat to be, and it's not a very thick base coat either. Some of the black still shows through, but that's how I want it. And some of this tank was customized because obviously the Stormbolter is a repair job, and I've added some extra bits and pieces to make it extra, or at the time I added some bits and pieces to make it extra chaos-like. But usually with my 40k models I don't go for garish colours. I do prefer more muted colour schemes. Probably the most audacious colour scheme I have is my Space Marine chapter, of which I have behind me one of the collectible action figures. I can never remember which way to point. So let me just get that down and I can show you. So here we are. This is my collectible Space Marine. He's painted in my personal Space Marine chapter colours, Sons of Dracus. We have Light Purple, Fiery Orange, and Golden Yellow, with bronze, Timbits, and what's Mithril Silver. See, I still use the old paint names, but this is in my Sons of Dracus Space Marine colour. He is, I want to say, I need to go into my folder, because I do have a folder of the banners. See, he hasn't got any of his chapter markings on him because I'm not very good at chapter markings, but we can have a look and I can tell you which. See, these have noble houses and clans. The Sons of Dracus chapter actually has 11 companies. They believe themselves to be a successor to the Salamanders. Now, before anyone in the chat points out that there are no successors to the Salamanders, that is correct. That's why the Salamanders do not like my chapter, because this chapter has come in and claimed to be Sons of Vulcan when there is no evidence of them ever being Sons of Vulcan. I'm just trying to find the file so I can tell you what. Maybe I haven't. Maybe it's in my pictures folder, because I do have a lot of. There we go. There we go. Sons of Dracus, and this is their. I want to say their third company. No, it's their fourth company. The colour scheme with the yellow is their fourth company. So this is a fourth company Space Marine of the Sons of Dracus. Their first company has white trim, second company green, third red, fourth is yellow, fifth is sort of like a bronze, sixth is ultramarine blue, silver for the seventh company, sort of a bright turquoise for the eighth, a sort of crimson for the ninth, and black for the 10th. And then of course you've got the 11th company, which is very much like a scout company, but it's an extra company, so it's like a reserve company, which isn't unheard of in Space Marines, but they sort of, the Sons of Dracus have a way of stepping on other people's toes. So yes, so I will return to my Twitch screen, and as I say, this is very much a experiment anyway, because I wasn't planning on doing any sort of streaming tonight, but I thought, you know, what the hey, I've got some time on my hands, and it would be nice to give it another go. So here I am. So I'm sort of expanded on the amount of paint I'm using, because obviously at the moment, with it being quite thin, it's not adhering to the model. So, you know, because these paints dry very sort of quite quickly, I will be able to now this is where I have to be careful, because I might have to use a smaller brush for this section. We'll see how we go. So I don't really want to paint the Chaos Star. I just want to paint certain areas of the Rhino. I don't know how well you can see that. You probably can't see it at all, to be fair. But you will do once the next layer goes on. Let me just unplug those lights behind me. They are my streaming lights, but to be honest with you, they do tend to make it too bright. So let's just lower the audio. Oh dear, that wasn't very. What's the word? I don't know. Oh well, things happen. Things happen. So, have I missed anywhere? I don't think I've missed anywhere that I want base coat dark green. Wash, wash. Now I need a slightly smaller tipped brush for this. This brush hasn't really been activated, as I call it. It's still got some of its try this one. There's that should do it. No. Layer. I mean, I haven't done this sort of thing for quite a while. I mean, my Great Demon Nurgle, which you can see up there, and behind me I've got some Ogryns and Sentinels for my Imperial Guard army, which are probably my most recent paint jobs. I am reviving my Dwarf army for Warhammer the Old World, which is nice. It'll be fun to get them back out, the Stonegrinder clan. I was really happy when Games Workshop announced that. Now I want this hatch to be painted in green as well. See, I don't use the brushes for their standard applications because I actually find them useful for other techniques, and I have a lot of, you know, non GW brushes as well, which do just as good a job, to be honest. Now, if we get a little bit of green on this Chaos Star, it's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world, because, in all honesty, I can tidy it up. It's three-dimensional, so but I do need to paint around the area of the door, which means I need to go back to my brush, my other brush. If I can find it. There it is. The wash brush. So we're nearly there, and as I say, this paint dried really quickly. I'm really happy with this paint. I'm not sure if I got the gloss version or not. I'm going to just take the lid off because I won't need this paint for this one any longer. Yes, I got the gloss version, which is absolutely fine. You can also get satin, and some of these aren't all gloss, but for the purpose of this, I'm quite happy for the base coat to be glossy. No, I don't know how well you can sort of see a slight, if I move the tank or the Rhino, you can sort of see a slight sheen. So let's check. I hope I didn't get gloss for the whole thing. That's gloss. That's flat. That's flat. Perfect. So that's actually worked to my advantage, that I've got sort of different shades of green in different forms. So next up we'll go with a slightly lighter green, but this one is a bit flatter in its tone, so it'll add a little bit of, and we can probably just dab this on rather than, that needs a bit of a shake. Oh, look at that. Oh, Oh, I love it when it drops into the dubstep. Now, this is where the wash brush, I would say, does come into its own, because I like to water paints down to the point that they are basically a wash, and you know, you get some pretty decent results. So we'll just check this out. Yes, I am happy with that. Still a bit too thick, but that's better. Might be a bit too thin. The secret is, when mixing your own paints, it's got to be just right. So you can start to see it take shape now. You can start to see the lighter colour. Justin over on YouTube, hello. Just quickly, that's the green I'm going to be working up to. That's another gloss, and then I'm going to be dry brushing it with this light green. So which almost resembles like a Nurgle style flesh. Yep, I'm painting Warhammer 40,000 Rhinos. This is the Mark IV-C. And incidentally, if you are in the chat for Twitch or YouTube, please follow suit and say hello. I love interacting with you. As I say, usually I'm an ASMR artist, but sometimes you've just got to do something a bit different. You've just got to find something that is a bit different and a little bit more entertaining. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because to be honest with you, I am going to paint straight over the doors with this lighter green. So, you know, I'm going to start painting areas straight away. So some of it's gone over the darker green and some of this has gone over the black. So you hopefully will. No, I don't want those to be green. And some of these I will. Oh, that's okay, Justin. That's okay. As I said, Justin is over on YouTube, and this is a simulcast on both there and on Twitch. So you can find me. And this is my first Twitch live in quite a while. I did one a while back, but it wasn't. There was a few issues that have now been resolved, and I decided to come back. So, you know, I am not going anywhere, and sometimes you have to try double platforms. So there we go. As you can see, it is becoming much more if I'm not happy with that door, I can always repaint it. Painting sort of like a flat colour over a gloss gives a very sort of, especially if it's watered down. In fact, I probably will repaint that door with black, because as I look at it on the other side, because of this door, I think we need a bit of contrast. So, but I can do that in a minute. And as I said, most of this music you'll hear playing is by Two Steps from Hell, Howard Shore, Hans Zimmer, Jeremy Soule, and Steve Jablonsky. Yes, that is correct. Justin makes a good point. All new followers to my Twitch will need to wait 10 minutes before they can communicate with me. I've set that up for safety and security, to keep it safe and friendly. So hopefully it will. And I should add, I've also barred a lot of abusive words as well, and a lot of words that can lead to hate. And so, I'm going to say it now: if you're a bigot and you are on Twitch and you want to cause trouble on my channel, I'm afraid you won't be able to, because I take that sort of thing very seriously. And of course, if you want to try and humiliate me, you can't. Security, safety, and hi Marigold over on YouTube. Hello. Yeah, I kind of thought that when I wrote it, and I thought, well, why not just put Rhinos, because that might draw in some curiosity, shall we say. I like to make people curious. As Mr. Rogers once said, it's good to be curious. So I'm just painting the next shade. Yeah, I'm not satisfied with that door. Although I have had a thought. So I will paint this door, but I have a way of making both doors sort of stand out. So but yeah, I've been sort of in and out of Warhammer and Warhammer 40k for about slightly over 30 years. I came into it sort of, how old was I? About 12, so about 1997. No, I wasn't 12 in 19. No, I was 11. No, 1996. Yeah, I am that old. You young whippersnappers don't know what it was like growing up in the 1990s. Yeah, we had to go to a phone box to make a call if we were outside, or had to wait for someone to come off the telephone if we wanted to use the internet. The heady days of youth. The old dial-up systems. Brr, 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 like, sound like a fax machine. next year I turn 40. I do. 2024 will be my 40th birthday. You wouldn't think I'm 40 next year. You wouldn't think I'm 39 this year, because I guess I'm just young at heart, really. You know, I think that's what keeps me looking, you know, feeling young. That my outlook is very much like that. But you know, that's okay, you know, because that's what it's about, really. There we go. I haven't done the front of the Rhino yet. I hope to get some more full. I don't really have a great deal of 40k models. Well, I do. I've still got my Imperial Guard to paint, so I'll probably do some more Imperial Guard stuff. I've got some Imperial Guard vehicles to finish painting as well. They're undercoated and marked with green, but they're not exactly finished. They're not tabletop worthy yet. That's what I want. I want things that are tabletop worthy. This Rhino and the other Rhino I'm painting are for display purposes, so they won't, you know, I haven't played Chaos for quite a while. I did have an Iron Warriors army, and because of 30k I'm very, very keen to perhaps revive my Iron Warriors army for 40k, but use 30k Iron Warriors to represent them, because I honestly believe that Iron Warriors would not have the mutations that a lot of Chaos Space Marines would have. Green everywhere. So, you know, I suppose these could have been, I mean, I would have probably done them as Iron Warriors, but because they've got the mark of Nurgle, I thought I'd like to do them as Nurgle-esque. So where's my layer brush? Miss Chic, hello over on YouTube. Thank you for joining. I am simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. I've probably got more people over on YouTube than I have on Twitch, but that's okay because this is a test simulcast. So, you know, we are doing okay. I mean, I don't know if I can be raided. I don't know if that's possible. Because I don't have that many followers over on Twitch. But if you are on Twitch and you want to follow me, I also go on there by the name of Ondarian ASMR, so I am very easy to find. Yeah, so of course I have also shared the link to the Twitch live stream on my Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitch, just find the link on my Twitter feed. And again, my all my social media is on Darian ASMR, so well, I've actually been wanting to get back onto it. I did one live stream on Twitch a while ago, but it didn't go according to plan. I kind of bottled it because I got trolled, and I've been encouraged to come back to Twitch, and you know, obviously I do YouTube, but I feel so much more I feel so much more confident, you know, being on both. What am I doing? I nearly put that lid on this brush. Honestly. Right. So we'll get the lid back on that one. See, that's what it looked like. I mean, this is a slightly older model, but that's what it looked like with just the undercoat. And that's what this one looks like so far. As I say, I am going to repaint the doors black because I'm not 100% satisfied with them. But I'm not going to paint everything black because I still want some green to show. So where's the black I had open yesterday? Is that the one? Yes. Yeah, it was my very first Twitch stream and it put me off for a bit, and I've been encouraged to come back to Twitch, and I thought, what could I do to sort of celebrate the return? I thought, well, I've got some models to paint, so I will paint those. Now, one thing about myself as a Warhammer 40,000 painter, I'm not one of these freehand painters. You won't find me doing any sort of elaborate pieces of artwork. You know, you won't find me painting the Mona Lisa on the back doors of these vehicles or anything like that. I follow a lot of people on Instagram. You are not the first person to think that, Miss Chic. Again, over on YouTube, because that was kind of, I left that ambiguous kind of on purpose. I know, a bit sneaky of me, but I left that a bit ambiguous because I wanted to sort of create some interest, as it were. If people saw the word painting rhinos, those who are in the know, who play 40k, will obviously know immediately. But it's that piece of intrigue that I like to create. What does he mean when he says he's painting rhinos? And it's true, I am painting rhinos. It's just not the rhinos that most people think of. It's an armoured personnel vehicle used by Space Marines in Warhammer 40,000. And as you can tell, I'm not doing it in an ASMR. I don't think a lot of my ASMR will be live streamed now, because I want to branch out a bit more. I'll still do my ASMR as videos and collaborations, but I want to do a lot more. For now, I'm back on Twitch, and this is like my return. I think it's time I upped the ante. There's going to be a lot more gaming live streams as well. So anything that doesn't look right, I'll just tidy up later, or I'll tidy up when the time feels right. There's going to be some mistakes, but you know, just want to get it as there. I'm a bit happier with that. I'm a bit happier with that now. I've got the black. I'm going to do the other door now. And the thing is, this is a layer brush from Games Workshop, and I prefer it's more like a fine detail brush, the old fine detail brush to me, which I much prefer to use it for. And of course, being designed as a fine detail brush, it allows me to literally just put paint where now obviously this Rhino, Chaos Rhino, is dedicated to Nurgle, the Chaos God of plague, pestilence, disease and destruction, but that doesn't mean we can't have some red in it, because red obviously is much more associated with Khorne, the Chaos God of blood, skulls, warfare, revenge. If you look into the Warhammer 40k mythos, you open up is a complete rabbit warren of chaos powers and space marine chapters and traitor legions, Imperial Guard. I refuse to say I'm going to say the name once, Astra Militarum. It will always be Imperial Guard to me. I'm sorry, Games Workshop, but it will always be Imperial Guard. And I am a Tanith first and only. In fact, on one of my live streams, I will paint my Gaunt's Ghosts models, and I'm not talking about the new plastic Gaunt's Ghost models. I'm talking about the real, original, 3rd edition metal miniatures, where he has the Sword of Hieronymo. Not one of these chain swords, it's the Sword of Hieronymo from the novels. Which fits in with the background of my army, because he got it around the time of the Vervenhive battles, and my army is Tanith and Vervenhive. So, you know. So you can basically see where I've done my utmost to try and tidy it up. Anything that happens now will just happen. There is some small bits of black coming through, but that's not a problem. In fact, that does not want to be like that. Bit does not want to be green. This is a track by Two Steps from Hell playing at the moment. This is Battleborn. How very, very appropriate. How very, very appropriate. And as I say, this is the soundtrack. This is the playlist I put together of all music that makes me think of Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000. And Two Steps from Hell is one of those that as I say, I always get a 40k. Um, how long have we been going? Oh, just over an hour. Battleborn, 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 Battleborn. Putting on a very sort of bright green now because we're sort of getting to the point where, but this one I've done. I'm going to try and thin it right down because it'll work better with the lightest green. There we go. That's what I wanted. Sort of want it to become patchy and gonna change the settings for chat on Twitch quick. So I've changed followers only chat to 0 minutes, so you should be able to I've turned email and phone verification off on, but the auto mod is on, so you know any misbehaviours will be dealt with. So you have been warned. So you can say hello to me on Twitch now because I have changed the settings. And if it goes awry, I will reset the settings. as you can see, that is sort of becoming a much sort of harsher green, which, although it's more like a, because I've done it more like a wash, it will sort of sit in the recesses and give it like a mottled effect. In fact, I think we can do that for the other side as well. So oh, we have missed a spot. I've just realised we've missed a spot. Ah, Amanda, hello, welcome to Twitch. Welcome to Twitch. As you can see, we have altered the settings. I have missed some painting, so I just need to go and and of course Amanda is my first moderator on Twitch as well, so you know, very important. I saw you on YouTube. I did respond. As I say, for anyone joining on YouTube, I am on Twitch. And for anyone joining on Twitch, I am on YouTube. This is a simulcast, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So, you know, whatever platform you're joining me on, welcome. I'm painting Warhammer 40,000 models today, and you know, just generally chatting. My main side on social media on YouTube is ASMR. I'm the creator of the Lord of War and Heartache, a fantasy series on YouTube. If you're interested, do look it up. There's going to be some changes this year. I am working on some exciting things, but and now we have the theme from the film Dungeons and Dragons playing. Which Dungeons and Dragons, this music actually did inspire. A lot of my writing is inspired by the music I listen to, and Lord of War and Heartache very much was inspired actually by this one track, because it was sort of the way I wanted the opening titles to look. They are evolving, the opening titles of the project, and you know, it's becoming quite popular, you know. Another Two Steps from Hell track. I try and let you know which tracks are which, and this is Undying Love from the Invincible album. Again, Two Steps from Hell are one of my influences for Lord of War and Heartache. I just have to listen to a piece of music and I get a scene or storyline in my head, and that's pretty much how I do all my writing. I just have to hear a piece of music and it makes me think of a person or a place or, you know, an event, and I kind of so, you know, as I say, I I'll probably end up having this muted or something, but that's okay, because, as I say, it's my first ever Twitch stream properly that lasted over an hour, and because the very first one was a bit of a disaster. I got abused by a Twitch user who is banned. He is very much banned from this feed, this channel. They were trying to trick me into saying something abusive, but I won't have that. And I have blocked a lot of abusive terms, and so if you want to try and come, if you are a troll and you want to try it, you won't get very far, because I have set the security of this feed so high that you will be marched out by the auto mod quicker than you actually came in. So, good luck. But obviously, as I said, I'm on YouTube as well, where I've got over 300 mods, all sort of friends from the ASMR community. A lot of them don't even know they're mods on my channel, but I kind of just make everyone in the ASMR community who posts a comment on my feed a mod, because... Oh, excuse me, that's the phone. So sorry about that. When the phone rings, I need to answer it. So, bear with me. But it hasn't put an end to this stream. So we go back to painting. Just give that a minute to dry.
Just repair any of the areas we don't want to be green. What I like about water-based acrylics is they're very, very forgiving. Not like I tried painting with enamel paints, and to be absolutely honest, I've painted with water-based acrylics literally since the very beginning that I started playing Warhammer 40,000 back in the 90s. So pretty much, as I said before, over 30 years on and off. There were points where I kind of fell out of the hobby, but lockdown very much returned me to the fold when I painted my Great Demon of Nurgle, which is, you can just see it on the top shelf where the Darth Vader helmet is. There are photos on my social media, but I can repost them, that's not an issue. So if you want to see them, they are on my Instagram, as are some of my other models, some of the work in progress stuff as well. I do have a lot of work in progress content. Nope, no, fortunately. So there we go. Yeah, I would show you my Great Demon of Nurgle, but it's very grainy, this camera, so not as grainy as my old camera, which was my laptop camera, which was absolutely abysmal for live streaming. If you look back at my early videos, it was either recorded using my laptop or my phone, and I ended up having problems with my phone and decided to get a proper decent camera for live streaming. I won't say this camera's bad, but obviously when I use it, it doesn't. I should have got something with autofocus, because that would have made it so much more adaptable. But I had to get what I could afford. So had to get what I could afford. I mean, I was thinking of actually putting stuff onto my throne list, but you know, who'd want to get me anything? You know, I'm just a. Let's be honest. I'm just a small-time. I'm a small fish in a big ocean, and you know, I've said it before. I'm not the most important person. I'll be honest. I'm not the most important person on the planet, and I've never believed myself to be that way either. I would much rather give myself to, you know, give the best of myself to others than kind of, rather than receive, you know, because, you know, and I don't do it for people because I want people to like me. That's part and parcel. That's natural. It's just that, you know, I am a very caring person and a very, you know, supportive individual, but sometimes I just feel like I don't deserve to be sometimes I just wonder what you know. And I guess I've always struggled with being the way I am. I certainly make no apologies for the way I am. You know, I went through a lot that's made me who I am today. Because there's a lot of things that happened that I don't really right. That's now ready for dry brushing, so I believe I've got the perfect dry brush. That needs a shake. Oh, that looks nice. That's gonna dry brush really nicely. Want to get as much of that paint off the brush as possible. And it doesn't matter if you go over anything, because again, what you don't want, you'll probably think to yourself, what's he done? What's he done? But this is part of the magic. This is all part of the magic. As I said, you'll probably think, what has he done? What has he done? But, as I said, there is method to the madness. And to quote Jodie Marie ASMR, welcome to the madness. This is my madness. Painting like I have never painted, but well, yes, I have painted like this before, but you know what I mean. I forgot that was a live performance, that one. And to make sure these marks are all the right way. Well, as much of the right way as possible. I mean the brush marks. That's a bit too thick, but we can fix that. Now, I know what you're thinking. I did all that nice green paint job and I've gone and ruined it. If I didn't want to, you know, really really work on it, yes, this would be a good way of ruining it, but as I've said before, there is method to the madness, because this sort of dry brushing picks up all the little details that I need to. You can still see the green shining through. You can still see the green shining through. It may not show up so well on this camera, but there, you know. And this was the same method I used for a large piece of scenery that I did during lockdown. A sort of chaos temple centerpiece. Some of these will have thicker bits of light green paint on, but that's okay. We'll do a door now, the back door, which is completely in black. So this is the start of the next phase. So once Right. I am satisfied. Next up, rust. Get the layer brush out because we only want the small. We only want certain areas painted. There we go. Now, you might think this, well, it's not strange at all, because you'll understand when I come to do the next phase, but I want this mark of Nurgle painted, partially painted in the same base colour as this next phase. So I want it painted with rust. I'm not going to paint the skulls, or at least try not to paint the skulls. So, I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what it's starting to look like. So, everything is beginning to fall into place. So, I'm just focusing on tidying up the areas that I don't want dry brush. It's easier just to dry brush the entire model and then work your way backwards. And sometimes if you go a bit thin with some of the paints, the dry brushing also shows through, which adds a nice little hint of texture to the model. So as you can see, it's beginning to look a bit neater. But as I say, I dry brush the entire models because it always looks a bit more natural. Now I want these door things to be metallic. So rust is a very good base coat, I've discovered, for the copper coloured paint that I'm going to use. And you'll note that I'm leaving the arrows, the dry brushed green as well, because I've got a different plan for them. The doors I am leaving dry brushed black. As I've said before, these paints dry really quickly, really well, and I'm so glad I decided to give them a shot. They're as good as Vallejo. I love using Vallejo paints as well, and they're cheaper than Games Workshop paints, so double winner. Try and get this looking a bit tidier. The doors I have a plan for, which you will learn in due course. at the moment I just want to get the oh, I know I've just realised I've missed a bit. You can hardly hear this track. Let's go on to the next. Needs a bit more paint. Needs a bit more paint. There we go. Now, a lot of people will say they airbrush their tanks, and normally I would, but considering how cold it's been here in the UK, and it's still January, I didn't really want to have my windows open. And to be honest, I actually enjoy painting by hand. I think you can actually get a lot out of painting by hand. Now, I probably won't finish this tonight. I'll probably save it for another live stream, but I want to get as much of it done as possible before I work towards the next phase. Because as I say, I do have a plan for it. And as I said, these paints layer up really, really well. They have really, I'm not sponsored or anything by this company. I'm just saying, I'm just saying how good I absolutely think these paints are. And, I really like the coverage and everything that these, but of course you might like what you use, and that's fine. I just happen to have discovered this brand, and I am loving it. I will say that I am going to avoid using brass or gold on this, because obviously brass and gold are connected to corn, and this is Nurgle. I should have done some Chaos, different Rhinos. I should have got a whole load of Rhinos and done them in different allegiances, including Chaos Undivided, but I chose Nurgle for this one, and but is there anywhere else I want to be brass? Yes, I do, but I want some of the green to come through, so I'm not going to paint up to the green. I'm not going to paint over the green. Did I say brass? I meant copper. Now, some areas that I'm painting copper will not have this rust colour underneath. Some of it will be very clean to look at, but for some of these areas, I want it to look. I want like a brown base coat. I mean, these bits on the top, I want to keep very much what they are, because I have a specific way of doing them, but I want this hatch top to be acknowledged. What is it? Syntactic Meteo. Acknowledged. I will keep that in mind, thank you. In fact, I think I'm going to have to paint this whole thing which isn't a bad thing. It's just I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to paint it when I come to do the metallics. I'll think about the storm bolter. I'll think about how I'm going to do the storm bolter, because how long have we been going? Coming up for about 2 hours. Well, that's not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. So I think that is actually a very good place to stop. I think 2 hours is a reasonable time. So I'm going to call it a day at that point, and we will carry on next week. I live stream on social media on a Friday for YouTube, so I will more than likely be live streaming on Twitch as well on a Friday. And I thank you very much for joining me, and remember, that is where we're up to. That is where we're up to on the painting front. So plenty more to be done, plenty more to be seen, plenty more colours to be applied. And thank you very much for joining me, and I will no doubt